What is up, you guys? Good to see you as always here on Grassroots Gardening, where we discuss everything landscape gardening and plants. And as promised, today's video, we're going to top dress my lawn here. We've got some low spots, we've got some thatch buildup, and now is the time to apply our top dressing mix, which is sand and compost. So I'm going to explain why we're going to use the combination of sand and compost. So as you can see, we've got some low spots, some holes in the yard, and it's just not as level as I would want it. So the sand is going to come in and fill those spots up. Sand is not going to decompose, it's always going to be there. So that's what we're going to use to get us a nice level surface in our yard. Now the compost is going to come in and add organic fertilizer, but it's also going to help break down this thatch. So all this brown stuff here is dead grass, and that is what is considered thatch. So the microbes that we put into our Good Stuff compost blend is going to help break that material down to where the plant can then use those nutrients back up. So that's going to just really help our yard. Top dressing is amazing. We've done it a little bit in the past, and the results were fantastic. I'll put a video of when we blew compost on our yard last year. The results were phenomenal. But now we're going to incorporate the sand into the mix for the reasons that I just stated. Try to get all these holes and unlevel spots in the yard back nice and level. And then right here, we've got a transition from the pool area down into the yard, and you can kind of see we've got a little valley right there. So that sand is really going to play an important part in helping to level up that whole slope. But what we've got to do first, we're in the month of June. We got to talk about that a little bit. So I'm going to just focus on our area down here. We're in zone 8A, so we're in South Carolina. We've got an Empire Zoysia grass, and what we've got to do is apply this top dressing in the summertime when the soil is actively growing, because we're going to just cover this yard. I mean, we're not going to bury the grass. You'll still see the grass, but we're going to put it down pretty dang thick. And then we're going to fertilize, water. It's going to shoot back up through that top dressing. It's going to help us out tremendously. But what we got to do first is go ahead and cut our grass down to, we got to kind of scalp it. I dare say that word, but we got to cut it really short. Short as you can stand it. We're going to do 1 inch to 1.5 inches. We're fixing to cut it right now. Then we're going to go up, get us about 5 tons of the top dressing blend. You want to use about 1 ton per 1,000 square feet. That's just kind of a general rule of thumb, and it's kind of easy to remember. So 1 ton for every 1,000 square feet. So let's get this grass cut. Let's go up to the sand mine. Let's get loaded, bring it back. And then really cool tool that we've got is our new top dressing machine right over here. And this is going to be more of an instructional video for the rental of this machine. So we're going to rent this at Grassroots. You can come by, pick it up, or we'll deliver it. Don't ask me the prices yet, because this thing just came in yesterday and I don't know what the rental rate's going to be, but this is going to make life a lot easier spreading this top dressing. I've done it by hand, I've done it with wheelbarrows, and it's just a lot of work. So this thing is going to make the short work out of top dressing. It's got a belt in the bottom. It's got these spreader wheels on the front. This thing is going to be the cat's meow when it comes to applying top dressing in the lawn. So we're going to go ahead and just start out with 1.5 inches on our John Deere here at that depth and see how that works out. But I noticed another spot as I was walking over here. We've really got some low spots right here that are bare. That's what the compost is really going to come in and help create that organic layer, and that grass should just run right across it and fill in all of these holes that we've got down through the yard. Yeah, I like that. That's good. So 1.5 inches was a little bit too shallow, so we had to up it to 2 inch. I think that's going to work good there. Let's walk around the yard real quick and just take a look at before and after. So we're going to come back in a few weeks and see what our results are. So that would be even all the more reason now to hit that like and subscribe down there and the notifications bell, so that you can kind of watch along with this progress and see how this top dressing project works out. And down here in this area, we've got a little bit of browning. Probably need to check my sprinklers, but we've had a good bit of rain. We may have some fungus issues, but the sand and compost are going to help with that as well. The sand will really help with drainage, and the compost will really help with just enriching the yard with that organic material and fighting off some of these fungal diseases, and just adding that awesome organic fertilizer to the grass. So we just got up here to our compost facility. We've got our little Ford dump truck there. We're gonna get about 5 tons because we got approximately 5,000 square foot of zoysia that I want to top dress. But here's our mix right here. We'll kind of climb up in the pile a little bit, dig into it so you can see it. But this is the compost and sand blend. Majority sand. I think this is probably a 90-10 blend. So 90% sand, 10% compost. So Austin's got our Hyundai 960 right here with the huge bucket on it. I think that's probably an 8-yard bucket, so we don't want all of that. That would pretty much bury our little dump truck here. This should make it pretty easy because we got this swing gate, so that gate will swing open, and then we can pull our top dress machine right up under it and shovel it in, or at least that's the plan anyway. So inside that 960, we've got scales, so he's weighing that material right now to make sure he gives me the right amount. So he had a little bit too much evidently, so he'll tip it out and let those scales tell him what he's got left. And that is a huge bucket. This is the really cool one we got. It's got a tip out function to it. So you'll see in a minute, if he uses it, he doesn't have to just dump. He can actually roll that bucket out from the loader itself. You can kind of see it doing it right now. That is some pretty stuff there. Our grass is gonna love this, guys. There we go, guys. That's our 5 tons of top dressing right there. So let's get back down to the house and get to work. And while we're standing up here on top of the dump truck to get that shot for you, that's Gringo. So that's our company that takes all of the wood waste, grinds it up, makes the mulch, and also where we make all the compost. So our sand mine is over the horizon there. We bring the sand over, get the compost, screen the compost down to 3/8. And then that's how you get this material right here. They mix the sand and that 3/8 compost together to create our top dressing blend. We made it back down to the house, guys, with our 5 tons of top dress. And Jackson was kind enough to go ahead and cut our lawn. So we've got it cut down as short as we're gonna go with it. And now we're gonna go over here and fire up our new top dress machine, pull it up underneath the truck, and hopefully not bury the machine when the tailgate opens. But what we're gonna do, and if you were doing this on a, in a regular situation, you could always have the material dumped on your driveway on a tarp, and then you just simply have to shovel it into the top dress machine. But let me show you guys how to get this thing cranked up. So this is our brand new EcoLawn top dress machine. Again, this will be available for rent there at Grassroots Yard Supply in Graniteville. Very simple machine. You've got your on off right here, and then of course choke and gas right down here. It's a simple pull start, very easy to start. And I guess before we crank it up, I'll explain a little bit on how it works. So this mechanism right here is pretty much what makes it go. So you squeeze down on that lever there, that engages the belt, engages those pull tires, and she's going to start to move. You control how fast you want to go with the throttle. Now I've never used this machine before, so we're going to learn together how fast we need to go to get the best spread. Now this right here is for our gate. So this big black handle right here, it opens and closes the gate. So that's going to allow either a bunch of top dressing to fall out or just a very little. Then our big black handle right here is what engages the conveyor belt. So down in the floor of our top dresser is this conveyor belt. So as soon as we pull this handle, that's going to start that belt to moving. Then we want to adjust our gate depending on the amount of coverage we want coming out. And it's a very simple machine. It's pretty easy. Once it's going, it's really simple to kind of turn either which way. This doesn't have any power steering, but again, as long as those front wheels are pulling, this thing just goes around super easy. So let's get her fired up. We'll back over there under the truck and get her loaded up. So what we're gonna do, come down here and make sure our gas is on. So our black lever is there. We're gonna pull our choke all the way on. We're gonna make sure that this is not in the down position, which is wide open. We're just gonna pull it up to the slow, turn our switch on, give her a pull, and then we wanna take the choke off. And that's normal running operation mode right there. Then we can simply control the throttle with our red knob right here on the handle. Now, the one tricky part, as I was pulling it down here, if you mash this down like all the way, it's gonna take off. So you wanna kind of really be careful with how much pressure you put on the driving mechanism right there. All right, now, let me go ahead and undo our chain on the dump truck here, and we'll see how good a job I did. And I'm not worried about spilling it out here. We're just gonna clean that up after we get done. Let me go pop the tailgate and see what happens. Hey, we got a little bit in there. Now we just gotta go grab us a shovel and fill her all the way up. All right, now we'll just take our shovel. We didn't do too bad of a job, Jackson, backing up. It's pretty much falling right in there. Now, as the material gets further up in the truck, we'll have to jump up in the actual dump truck to fill her up. I'm uncertain of how much material or how big this hopper is. We'll have to figure that out. But I'm just gonna go ahead and fill it all the way up. I wonder how easy it'll move without the motor. It's not too bad. I mean, that's a bunch of weight right there. All right, let me get her fired back up. We'll switch it back on. Probably don't need the choke again since the motor's already ran. We'll give it a little bit of gas. I think I'm gonna hold it like this. Let's see here. I'm gonna leave the throttle, I think, right where it is. And then I'm gonna go ahead and open the gate a little, I think. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that's about an inch open, maybe a little more than an inch open right there. And so as soon as we activate that conveyor belt, then our paddles will start spinning and we should be slinging some top dressing. And we don't want to engage the belt until we're actually moving. Oh, I like that, man. I'm going to give it some more gas. Man, it is sucking that top dresser down. Giving us a nice, even layer. This is so cool. Thing's awesome, man. And we're just about out. So we can go ahead. So the conveyor belt, I was wrong. It only operates when the machine is moving. So doing this right now with that not engaged is not making the conveyor belt come on, which is a good thing. But we can go ahead and close our gate so we don't spill any going back to the truck. That's a bad mamma jamma right there.
That's awesome.
I love that thing, man. Golly, that really, it went through that tub pretty darn fast. But it was just nice and smooth. I mean, you can't even really see it. We got to put a lot more down, but this is the way to go, man. I like this thing. This right here. So I was noticing that the gate handle has got these lines right here, but it also clicks for every notch that it shows. So if you're concerned about not having enough top dressing, I would suggest opening the gate narrower and just doing more passes in your yard. Because if you get this material and you open that gate wide open, you could see a while ago, this thing really puts out a lot of material pretty quick. And I'd hate for you to run through all your material and then need to come get more. So I would suggest just experimenting with a small gate opening and just knowing you might have to do more passes over the yard versus just dumping it out there and then running out of material. All right, so let's try it on, let's see, that's gonna be the third mark on the gate opening right there. We'll try that. Now what we're gonna do, since I know where my first path was, we're just gonna move over a little bit, make us another pass and walk around the yard. So I'm gonna go ahead, start moving by pinching this and then engage our conveyor belt. That is giving such a nice even spread. Well, one thing I can tell you is you got to be prepared to walk pretty briskly. If you pinch this thing all the way down, that motor engages and she takes off. But I guess the reason is because it does, you know, have the ability to spread so much material so quickly. You need to be really moving. But just for you guys that are renting it, if you squeeze this all the way down, you better be ready to take off. But pretty amazing machine. This is awesome. I think I'm going to try it on the 4th mark. Now, last time we had it on the 3rd, so this will let a little bit more material out. We kind of got to hurry. It's starting to rain on us a little bit. We got some thunderstorms moving in. I just want to look and see. Just judging, that's about a 1-inch opening right there on the 4th mark. Well, it's starting to rain on us a little bit, but it actually feels quite good. One little tip I was just going to give is when you get to the end of area where you need to turn around, just simply let off this bar, and that'll keep it from pulling you all over the place, and then you can easily spin it right around. We're going to try to load up one more load before it really starts to come down, but it's looking real nice so far. I really like this machine a whole bunch. Then we're just going to pull our idle, pull it all the way back to idle, and turn her off. Oh man, it's really starting to come down now, buddy. Well, we didn't get the last hopper unloaded because it started pouring and lightning and thunder, and we're dodging some thunderstorms. But I'm gonna run out here real quick and we're gonna go ahead, load her back up and see what we can get done before the next thunder boomer rolls through. Well, at least we got it loaded, but I think we're gonna have to run back to the house now because lightning is popping and it's starting to come down pretty good. I don't want to get a camera wet. So we'll just have to come back in a little bit. Hopefully this rain will slack off before it gets dark. If not, we'll just have to come back tomorrow afternoon and finish up, but I'm getting inside right now. Well, that rain sure came at a very inopportune time, and I mean, it came down. I don't know how many inches we got, but it poured. I mean, just look at how wet our top dressing mix is, and we're about to figure out if this thing can sling some wet top dressing mix because, well, everything is now soaked. So let's see how she does with wet material. I mean, we got to push on because we've only got tomorrow to finish this thing, and well, we just got to get to work. You can't control the weather. It just is what it is. This is a real life YouTube channel. Another prime example of that. So we'll go ahead and switch her on here. We're going to need to choke it again because everything is obviously cooled down. Gas is still on. give her a pull. Go ahead and get rid of the choke. This Honda makes a good engine. I've got that Honda engine on a couple other machines and they are really, really dependable. So I'm glad to see that's on there. Give her a little bit of gas and off we go. Well, she's still slinging it, even as wet as it is. Still slinging it out pretty dang good. Obviously you want this material to be dry, but it is what it is at this point. Like we said, I'm just happy that it's still slinging it out there. Hey guys, so we're back at it. It's day 2. The rain just really messed us up yesterday. And it looks like we're gonna have to hustle today too, because we got some thunderclouds already starting to build up a little bit, but that's just typical summertime weather. Here's where we're at as far as where the dump truck load is concerned. We're about a little more than halfway through. Jackson spread out a little bit more for me this morning while I was at work. So yeah, I think he put 2 hoppers out, so we're probably at like 5 hopper fulls so far that we've put out. And the rain helped us out some yesterday. You can see down here, it really kind of helped to wash that material on down to the soil level. And here's some that he put out today. It's kind of already dried in the sun just a little bit, but we're getting nice coating. And again, you can put this stuff down as thick as you want to, guys, as long as we don't cover up the grass completely. And it can still get sunlight. It'll just come on up and continue to grow right on up. But right now, we'll head back over here to the dump truck. We're going to fill up this hopper again. And I really need to get to a point before it rains where we can bring our little drag down here and we can drag the yard. I think I'm heavier. This would have been a lot easier had the rain not come, but hey, we got to have the rain too. So obviously right here, guys, we've got a big indention, so I'm gonna make a couple passes through here and fill up these holes right here. I might open the gate a little bit more, or you simply could just make more passes. Now I'm just gonna try to go a little bit slower through this area now, just get a little bit thicker coverage. All right, on this pass, I'm gonna go ahead and open it on down to the number, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, the number 5 mark. Let's see what that does. Oh yeah, that's putting us out a good coating right there. We need it over the side too. Putting it down on that number 5 notch really got us some great coverage right here. We may have to come back. There's still a little depression right there, so I may have to come back with just a couple shovelfuls and fill those up, but I think it's working really good. Well, y'all, we put out, I think it was around 9 total hopper fulls with our top dress spreader. Now we need to level it, so I'm just going to use this old pallet. I've got it tied to the old John Deere there, and what that's just going to do is go just slide along on top of our grass. You could really use anything that's similar as long as it's flat, because the whole idea is to fill in any holes. So hopefully this idea will work. Let's try it and see. Well guys, our whole pallet idea worked out pretty good, didn't it? Look at how it just kind of leveled out all that soil, and the dirt would kind of fall from one board to the next to the next to the next. So it gave us a really nice results. I'm pretty happy with that. That worked out pretty good. Learned it on YouTube. What do you know? Now, in this transition area right here, we've got such a, grade pitch. We're gonna have to come in with some hand tools and kind of, get what we want there. We'll level it out. They have a yard leveler that I want. I don't have one, but I saw it on Amazon, so I'll post it in the description below along with any other things that we've used or that I think might be helpful. But that's basically it right there, guys. Our lawn is gonna thank us so much for putting this top dressing down. And another thing this is gonna help with, we're just increasing the soil depth. So we're obviously increasing the depth of the roots so that we won't have to irrigate as much, and we're building a more drought resistant lawn. That with all the other benefits that I've told you about, guys, this has been a fun project. Our top dress spreader sure is the ticket. So if you live within the area, you want to rent it from us, get in touch with us on Facebook, or I'll put the number up for Grassroots Yard Supply here, or you can check out our website. It makes life so much easier. So I can't wait to see the results. I want you guys to follow along too. So hit that like and subscribe down there in the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video. Guys, always remember, the more you know, the more you grow. See you on the next video, y'all.